Hi, I'm Jeremy Blake, Leadership Development Coach with Manufacturers Alliance, and welcome to today's e-coaching reel. In today's reel, we are going to be talking a little bit about our friend Albert Einstein. More specifically, though, his approach to solving problems. Have you ever heard the quote, "If I had 60 minutes to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes defining it and 5 minutes solving it"? That's a quote that's been attributed to Albert Einstein. My question is, what does that quote mean to you? Think about that a little bit. What it means to me is that when you're solving a problem, the vast majority of the time should be spent on defining it and truly understanding the problem. And if you do this, the amount of time that it takes to actually solve the problem is very, very small in relation to how long you spend in defining it and truly understanding it. But here's the thing. How often do we really do that, especially in the workplace? I would argue that most of us do the opposite of that. We probably spend about 5 minutes defining and understanding the problem and 55 minutes getting to the fun part of solving it, right? But what happens with that? Oftentimes what happens is we're only treating symptoms, right? We're not treating root cause. We end up on the hamster wheel of just going and going and going, solving the same problem over and over and over again. So I would highly encourage you to follow Einstein's approach and spend the bulk of that time defining and truly understanding the problem before you start getting into the solve portion. And how do you do that? Well, you start off with your problem statement, right? The foundation to any successful project is an effective problem statement. So get in there and really define that problem. Not an opinion statement, not a solution statement, not a root cause analysis statement, and not a problem novel, right? A problem statement. Answering, what is the measurable target condition? How is it supposed to be? What is the measurable current condition? What is it really like right now? And then defining the gap between those two measurements and why that gap matters, right? Creating that call to action. And then next, you're going to get into really defining that current state, right? What are all the inputs to this current state, to what's happening right now? Then you're going to get into root cause analysis and really truly dig down and identify the root cause or root causes. Then you're going to investigate and validate those root causes. Are those truly the root causes, right? That's all that upfront work. Then you get into the fun part, right? The fun part of solving, of identifying those countermeasures and then going and putting them in place and then validating and verifying that those countermeasures worked. So if you want to have success at solving problems, you need to approach them with the respect and the discipline that they deserve. If it's a problem, it's likely that it's not just a go do, right? It's something that's going to take some time and some effort to investigate, to truly understand, to again get down to that root cause, so then we can go and actually solve that problem, so we can actually put that fire out for good and then move on. So my challenge for you over the course of the next couple of weeks is to really take a look at problems that you're facing or projects that you're working on and give yourself an honest assessment of where you're spending your time. Are you spending your 55 minutes in solve, or are you spending your 55 minutes in definition and understanding? If you're spending most of that time in solve, work towards flipping the script on that. A good place to start is really spending the time on your problem statement. Problem statement's usually going to take about 3 to 5 revisions, right? It's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of investigating to get that information in there that you need. But that can start to slow down that desire to jump to the solution and reframe things into understanding the problem first, okay? Now, if you're a leader and a decision maker watching this video right now, my challenge to you is to look and see the value in putting that time and energy into that 55 minutes of define. Oftentimes in this fast-paced environment, we go into firefight mode, right? And we really just want to jump to those solutions, right? It can be very, very tempting. But in doing that, are you really setting yourself or your team up for success? Or are you just putting a Band-Aid on something and then moving on until that Band-Aid comes right back off, right? It's tough. It's tough to flip our mindset on this, right? It's tough for us to get into that mode of slowing down a little bit. Probably hearing me even say that might have made you cringe a little bit. We don't have time to slow down, right? Well, I would argue you don't have time to keep solving the same problem over and over and over again either, right? The way I see it, if it was good enough for Einstein, it's definitely good enough for me. It's probably good enough for you as well. And here's some food for thought. What do you think your competition is doing? Do you think that they're approaching problem solving in this way? If they are, they're probably pretty effective at it. And therefore, you're going to want to get on board so you don't get left behind. Or how about this? Maybe they aren't doing it. What a great opportunity to gain that competitive edge if you start enacting this approach in your organization. Thank you so much for your time and for investing in yourself to become a better leader and a better problem solver. We'll see you in the next video.